15 seconds. So let's start with, has anybody have one of these dashboards in their setup? And who thinks this is a valuable asset in the company? The answer should be no, because circling back to the earlier talk today, and I sent this in before I actually heard the other talk, there actually is a monitoring center. Normally it's called the NOC. And they're actually watching TV live to make sure that the stuff that goes out actually goes out. And we're going back in history, because most of the time when we are observing, people got scared. We need to do the 5 nines. The other next quiz is, how much is 5 nines? Uptime, that's 6 minutes. You're allowed to be down for 6 minutes in the air. People used to aim for the 5 nines. Used to go horribly wrong, because in the end, most of the time, you were still doing a murder mystery when stuff went down. So we tried to optimize for the smallest amount of downtime. And that came because when we learned about monitoring, we were taught about the bastard operator from hell, basically, or the grumpy bearded guy in the basement that told, if the CPO goes over 80, like, we're down. Whether or not that was the case, he didn't actually know, because he was actually only involved in the bottom third of the pyramid. Is the system up or down? He didn't actually know if the users were impacted or not. He only knew CPU were below 80. Or we tried to get a bit smarter. We used to do the red or the use metric, depending on which school of thought you came from. That's basically, we tried to get into getting usable metrics. Well, the next phase was the 3 pillars of observability: metrics, structured logs, traces, because there was more than just metrics that we were getting. Downside to pillars is that when you push one over, you basically have the 2 ones that are basically useless. So if you think about logs, traces, metrics, you more think about this Tensegrity system, where you need all 3 of them for the system to work, and your little Lego clown to stay up. Right? Because in the end, instead of having this beautiful, crazy dashboard I showed in the beginning, your data should tell beautiful stories, so we can actually know what is going on. Right? This is the system condensed into 3 metrics. Are we shopping, and where are we shopping? Why is that interesting? Because marketing might have just launched a new marketing campaign, which means traffic is increasing. So when we actually see our numbers go up, this is good. So the thing that we're actually balancing in our Tensegrity system is not the dashboard, it's the alerts, because we need to act on some of these metrics only, not on all of them. And that's why we came up, let's quantify what that means. So SLAs, it's the contract you have with users. Sometimes it's implied, sometimes it's actual, a contract that means if you do not perform, you lose money. SLOs are the wishes, so the technical implementation of it, and with enough space for failure. Right? Your SLOs, what your internal aims are, should be better than your SLAs. And that means we need to talk business. Right? These are business decisions. So we actually need to talk to our salespeople, because we need to talk about if we see our revenue go down, or our number of sales goes down, or our signups go down, that's when we actually are in trouble. So we need to start looking in these top 2 thirds of the pyramid. And that might be somewhat more difficult conversation to have with your sales organization than you might think, or your business. Because it also means that the applications that land on top of this infrastructure that we've been building, because that's the history of monitoring, they need to be instrumented. They need to give us metrics on what is going on. So they need to emit certain metrics. And that's the ones that we need to alert on, not the big exception I always use is the hard disk space is definitely not something you SLO, but it's definitely something you want to monitor. Because we are interested in these 5 nines, but 5 nines of the customer perspective, right? People of companies like AWS, they actually put a dollar value on if my page loads twice as long or 100 milliseconds shorter, this is when we get in trouble. So for SLOs, also for the people that are on call, things are important you need to check out the burn rate. So how long can I go on with this error before actually get impacted? because failing backups are not something you get woken up for, but the login frame not working actually is something you alert on. Oh, well, you wake up someone for, whereas the backup is, Jira ticket, never to be seen again. Perhaps not. Yeah, that's the end, and I don't think it killed the program.
Oh, thank you.